soon after latest inflation numbers showed the UK stayed on hold. Rising gas and electricity prices were the main drivers. January's figures showed the rate remains at 4%, the same as the month before. Economists had widely expected that the figure would rise to 4.2%, so it came in below that. Bank of England has continued to hold the interest rate at 5.25%, down from its peak. The peak was the inflation rate at 11.1%. Doesn't relate, of course, to the interest rate. Jeremy Hunt said families are unlikely to see the pressure ease on them, while inflation remains above the bank's target of 2%.
Inflation never falls in a straight line, and although it's welcome that it hasn't gone up today, it is still double the target level of 2%, and we're not going to be able to relieve pressure on families until we hit that target and the Bank of England feels able to reduce interest rates. So this is a time to stick to a plan that is clearly working, but we need to make sure that we really get to that end point of inflation at 2%.
Guys, Archie Nachiappan joins me now from Westminster. So what's the headline on this, that we're still well above the 2% target? Or, unlike the data out of the US yesterday, we came in a little bit below expectations. People had thought it would rise to 4.2%, came in at 4%.
I think with inflation figures where we are at the moment, the margins are so fine. Economists were predicting 4.2%. The Bank of England thought it would be 4.1%, and we're at 4%. So obviously that changes the direction that we're going. We're standing still instead of increasing, which is a good thing. But if we're talking about 0.1 percentage points, it's not really a huge deal in terms of the grand scheme of things. So I'd say the main takeaway from today is the fact that it was a landmark in January to have at least not increased. And then from there on, there are reasons for economists to believe that inflation will continue to fall, and that it's that would hopefully mean that the Bank of England may be able to bring forward rate cuts and relieve pressure on consumers and households. You mentioned the energy prices. I think that's a really important one here because they are keeping inflation high at the moment. However, we've had quite a mild winter in Europe, and that means that fewer gas stocks have been used, and that's kept wholesale prices a little bit lower, and we will see the impact of that in April when the energy price cap is expected to fall by around 15% when it's recalculated. And also base effects come into play over the next couple of months, which means that we're comparing to a very high level of inflation in February and March. So inflation rates will look a little bit lower. So I think the main thing here is about the overall trend and the fact that January hasn't rocked that, and it's still set to continue to fall if we're in pace with what's expected.
Archie, great stuff. Thanks so much. By the way, at 10:30, we'll be getting reaction to that surprise hold of the inflation level at 4%. Economist Francis Coppola will join us at the bottom of the hour. Now, Sky News understands a third Labour politician has been spoken to by party officials after it emerged he attended a meeting of activists, which is at the centre of an anti-Semitism row within Sir Keir Starmer's party. Munsif Dad, councillor for Hyndburn, who leads the local authority's Labour group, is thought to have been at the gathering that was held in Lancashire soon after the Hamas attacks in Israel on the 7th of October. Well, yesterday, the former MP, Graham Jones, who's been seeking to stand for the Hyndburn seat again at the next election, was suspended after allegedly making unacceptable remarks at the event. That followed a decision made the day before to withdraw support for Azhar Ali, who was standing for the party at the upcoming Rochdale by-election. Well, we're joined now by our political correspondent, Mari Aurora, on all of this. Mari, this third individual, is there anything specific that has emerged to hold against him or not? And again, I think the key question remains, following the framing of this by Sir Keir Starmer yesterday, whether he has taken decisive action or not.
Yeah, exactly. So first of all, those three people at the meeting, we know actually it was a community meeting that happened a few weeks after the October 7th attack. And it's understood that there were only 3 Labour people at the meeting. So, as you outlined, one was Azhar Ali, and we saw the comments that he'd made during that meeting that emerged over the weekend. One was Graham Jones, and we saw the comments that he'd made during the same meeting, again, that emerged yesterday. And as you say, the third, Munsif Dad. Now, he's the Labour group leader in Hyndburn, which is the seat that Graham Jones was trying to contest in the general election. He was the Labour candidate for that seat. Now, there's no suggestion as of yet that Munsif Dad said anything that would require any kind of disciplinary action in terms of the kinds of things we've heard from Azhar Ali and Graham Jones during that meeting. But nonetheless, he was present as a senior Labour official, and I understand that he has been spoken to, although he has not been suspended. It's also unclear as to whether or not he's been investigated or whether he's just been spoken to, and that's that. So we're still trying to get some of the details out of Labour. I mean, the difficulty was this morning, John Healey, the Shadow Defence Secretary, was on the programme, and he was asked about this, and he didn't even know anything about it. He didn't know who was at the meeting. He didn't know about the fact that Munsif Dad was already there and had been spoken to. He wasn't aware of any of this. He hadn't been briefed on any of it, so he couldn't even answer some of the kind of simple questions that Kay Burley had for him. And we essentially understand now that Graham Jones and Azhar Ali have been suspended from the party. Formally, there needs to be a process that they can go through before Graham Jones is taken off the ballot, and essentially they can replace him with an alternative candidate for the Labour Party, because that's not until the general election. Very different from the situation we saw with Azhar Ali, because that by-election is at the end of this month and it was too late to change the name on the ballot paper. So at least they're not going to have to sacrifice 2 parliamentary seats over this scandal. But I think it remains to be seen as to who else was in that room, how much did the Labour Party know. They're saying they're looking into all of this, they're trying to establish all of these facts. But I think you asked the question, Wilfred, did they take decisive action enough? I mean, the general consensus is that the Graham Jones suspension was taken relatively swiftly and was quite decisive, but the kind of impression of dragging their heels on the first controversy of Azhar Ali, and when that emerged, is still slightly damaging, slightly tainting the Labour Party's record on uprooting anti-Semitism at the root and being brutal and being swift and being very efficient with that. So I think the Labour Party now has a bit of a repair job to do to try and prove that they are taking this seriously and that they will take action as and when needed.
Mari, great stuff as always. Thanks so much. By the way, we've been mentioning that Rochdale by-election significantly. It's at the end of the month. Here's the full list of candidates. Page 1 of the, 11 candidates. Page 2, and there they all are for you. The Israeli Defense Forces have vowed to catch Hamas leader Yahya Sinwar dead or alive after releasing footage apparently showing him in a tunnel below Gaza. Israel says the video shows the moment he and others moved through an underground network. It would mark the first time he's been seen on camera since he went into hiding ahead of the 7th of October attacks on Israel. The 61-year-old has led Hamas since 2017 after joining its ranks in the early 1980s. He spent more than 20 years in prison for killing both Israelis and Palestinians suspected of collaborating with Israel. He was released in 2011 as part of the swap of more than 1,000 Palestinian prisoners for one hostage Israeli soldier, Gilad Shalit. Sinwar is believed to be the architect of last year's attacks and is described as Israel's most wanted. Let's cross live now to Jerusalem and Sky's Diana Magnay. Diana, just remind us the significance of this figure and how he ranks relative to other suspected leaders of the group, and what we know about this footage that Israel's released.
Well, Yahya Sinwar is head of Hamas's military wing, and the IDF believe that he did mastermind the October the 7th attacks, and he's been underground ever since, and they still haven't got him. And I think it will be a real coup for Israel when they do get him. But interesting that now they have released this video, and they say there are plenty more that they're analysing at the moment. And that video was apparently captured by Hamas CCTV that they have apparently in the tunnels. And it appears to show Sinwar and his family being led down a tunnel, the brother at the front, 2 little children there too, and the back of Sinwar himself. Now, it's difficult to verify that video because we only see him from behind. He does have ears that sort of project which are about the only identifying factor in that video. But that was 3 days after the attack on October the 10th. This is now February, and he still hasn't been got. The second video shows a complex where the IDF say that Sinwar and his family stayed. And it's interesting because you see quite how sophisticated a lot of the underground sort of complexes, housing complexes are for Hamas leadership. You see 2 bathrooms, you see a kitchen which is well stocked up with supplies. And there is, for example, a bag with UNRWA on it, which I think provides weight to Israel's argument that perhaps not that UNRWA is complicit with Israel, with Hamas, which is what Israel contends. But at least that Hamas is stealing a lot of the humanitarian aid and supplies that are meant to be going through to the civilians of Gaza. And then also in that video you see a large amount of money, millions of dollars, millions of shekels, and a whole row of perfumes, which the IDF says, just goes to show the sort of relative luxury that the Hamas leadership are living in, whilst above ground people have very little. And their point in releasing this video is to say that Sinwar is running like a coward through the tunnels underneath Khan Yunis, but he cannot run for long, and we will get him. Now, I'm not sure what sort of an impact that will have on people in Gaza, but certainly here in Israel, I think it encourages people to believe that the hunt is still on and it's worthwhile. But it has been 4 months. They haven't got him yet. And I think what is also very telling from what they released yesterday is just to show quite how sophisticated this tunnel structure is underneath the places like Khan Yunis, presumably underneath Rafah too. And bear in mind, however sophisticated that tunnel structure is, Hamas has not allowed it to harbour shelter to any of the Palestinian people as they try and escape Israel's bombs.
Diana, thanks so much. Diana Magne there for us in Jerusalem. Now, Sky News has been investigating allegations that Israel's military shot and killed 2 unarmed civilians during a raid at a family home in Khan Yunis in December. Mohammed Katab and his wife were having a meal with their children when the apparent attack happened, despite their pleas to a humanitarian charity to inform the IDF of their whereabouts. Well, following the 7th of October attacks by Hamas, the Israeli Defense Forces urged people to evacuate to the south for their safety as they bombarded the north. But since the 5th of December, a new phase of the war began, with Israeli troops moving into Khan Yunis. Much of Gaza has now been made uninhabitable. Satellite analysis from the end of January found that up to 175,000 buildings have been destroyed or damaged, as shown here in red. And in the south, at least half of Khan Yunis is destroyed or damaged. A report now from our international correspondent, John Sparks.
People in Gaza have been driven into the corners of the enclave. Life now lived in temporary cities erected around functioning hospitals. At the Gaza European Hospital, people camp outside the emergency department because there's not enough room inside, not enough space for the wave of suffering seen and experienced on the strip. On the second floor, there's a 5-year-old boy who was hit by a grenade. A fragment passed through his eye and lodged in his brain. But that's just part of Mumin's story. His brother and sister watched it all.
It was lunchtime. We were sitting down.
11-year-old Ahmed Hattab was in the kitchen when Israeli soldiers broke into the family home.
They raided our house and they shot our mum and dad. Then they started shooting at us.
His sister, Buthaina, is 9.
We went to another room, hiding from the soldiers. They started banging on the door, and then they blew it up.
In the first week of December, the Israel Defense Forces launched the second phase of their ground invasion in Gaza, targeting the southern city of Khan Yunis. It operates as the headquarters, it said, of senior Hamas leadership. The Israelis deployed thousands of troops and began what they called the most intense battle of the war. 11 members of the Hattab family lived less than 2 kilometers north of the center of Khan Yunis in a suburb called Mahata. Their residence was surrounded by suburban homes, gardens, and grey-roofed greenhouses. The local college lies across the square. The area was consumed by fighting in early December. These pictures show the Hamas Khan Yunis brigade returning fire in the city's northern suburbs. On December 7th, Father Mohammed Hattab called his brother, a doctor, to alert the Red Cross. Their house had been surrounded by Israeli armor. His brother used WhatsApp. He said that the tanks behind the house and excavator destroyed the near house. It's very difficult to move without permission. This is Mohammed's brother, Omar Hattab, a pediatric surgeon at the Gaza European Hospital.
My brother called me and he said, talk to anybody to deliver us from there because it's very difficult. The situation was very difficult. Shots around the house. So I went to Red Cross and talked with them. I was very, very worried.
Increasingly alarmed, Dr. Omar tried the Red Cross the following day. I called my brother and he said, the tanks around the house. Can't move at all. It's complicated. Mohammed's son, Mumin, has cerebral palsy. Moving him is difficult, and they wanted to notify the Israelis in advance. On WhatsApp, the Red Cross was reassuring. Their representative said, we've ensured that the houses would not be bombed or destroyed at night and in the future. Their confidence was badly misplaced. These images were posted by the Israelis in mid-December. We see troops applying overwhelming force in residential areas surrounding the Hattab family's home. On December 15th, IDF soldiers stormed their house. The children's aunt, Dua Hattab, says she was in the kitchen when the troops came in.
They knocked down the front wall and entered the house. We were sitting down having lunch at the time. Then my brother Mohammed was shot. He was at the front, waving a white flag.
A grenade was thrown into the crowded kitchen, injuring Mohammed's wife, Hind. Family members say a soldier then shot and killed her. The device blinded Mumin in his left eye. Israeli soldiers found his brother and sister hiding in the bedroom.
They were interrogating us, asking us to show them the tunnels and to tell them where the resistance fighters were. Then they gave us a white flag and told us to walk down Salahuddin Street.
Their neighborhood had been turned into a war zone. This picture, taken on December 16th, one day after the IDF entered their home. Houses have been destroyed, trees and greenhouses obliterated. The ground chewed up by tank tracks and Israeli earthworks. The local college had been leveled and an IDF base thrust into the district to the north. The surviving family members walked through that battlefield, reaching Gaza European Hospital the following day. Every time the children cried, someone shot at them, they said. Now, Buthaina sits amongst the tents with her coloured pencils. Her favourite colour? Pink, she says. Both she and brother Ahmed struggle to speak of their ordeal. Their aunt and uncle are busy now, learning to care for their disabled nephew. They say Mumin cries all night. They don't know how to make him happy.
They've lost their father and mother in one day, at the same time in front of their eyes. This is a really difficult thing. No one can cope with this. No one can.
We provided the IDF with a detailed description of timings, events, and coordinates of the Khattab family home. It declined to comment. The Red Cross said responsibility for protecting civilians lies with the parties to the conflict. Robbed of their parents, robbed of their home. 3 orphans in Gaza left to question the incomprehensible. John Sparks, Sky News.
As John mentioned there, the IDF thus far has not commented on this report by John and the Sky News team, but at 11:30, Avi Hyman, Israeli government spokesman, will join us to respond to that specific report and also the debate around a potential broader ground offensive in the Rafah region. That will be at 11:30 this morning. Well, also still to come here on Sky News, the measures this British Indian Sikh man goes to in order to protect himself after appearing on a hit list by the Indian state. We hear from the widow of a British soldier who calls for the American serviceman involved in the death to face prosecution. And Ukraine says it sunk a Russian warship off the coast of Crimea. We'll speak to Professor Michael Clark about that.
We've had a number of pandemics, epidemics, which is well known of plague over the centuries, but the disease never actually went away. It's hidden away in animal reservoirs, usually rodents in certain parts of the world. One of them is Oregon, and the island of Madagascar is another one. So we have to be vigilant because we occasionally see these sporadic cases. I think worried is not the word. I think concerned really about the knowledge of what these organisms are doing. We need to be vigilant, really, because we need to have the right surveillance systems in place. That we have in Oregon, where if the organism crosses from rodents, from animals into humans, the danger is that it could then spread between humans. It's not happened in Oregon, but it has happened recently in other parts of the world. So surveillance is really, and vigilance is really the word we're looking for in the context of plague. All the common diseases that we've got, or many of them, they've got measles, for example, whooping cough, typhoid, originally were in animals and they spread into humans. And once they start to spread between humans, that's the real danger because they adapt to humans, the human lifestyle, the human physiology, and they become more of a threat. And that's what happened in the previous plague pandemics, where there was a breakdown in healthcare. In fact, there wasn't any healthcare really in the centuries ago. And so we need to be put in place systems where we can watch the danger of human to human spread. Well, there was an outbreak recently in Madagascar where around 30 people died of plague, and that we did see human to human transmission, but luckily in the modern world we can intervene and prevent these outbreaks. Unfortunately, in the case of COVID, we weren't able to do that, and we saw the consequences because it was such an infectious agent. We have Ebola in Africa, which is periodically emerging. I think the danger is these viruses and germs can evolve.
Now, Sky News special investigation, and British Sikhs say they fear being assassinated here in the UK after a list was broadcast on an Indian TV channel naming enemies of the state. Our data and forensics correspondent Tom Cheshire has spoken to one man in Wolverhampton who says he's gone to drastic lengths to try and protect himself.
The quiet, rainy streets of the suburbs of Wolverhampton. It is an unlikely place to live in fear of assassination. But Kuwant Singh Matada was sitting here at home watching an Indian television channel when this came on. A news report naming enemies of the state. And he was one of them.
We know that we've become the government's targets, so that does not mean that we are safe and can get on with our day-to-day as normal. Whenever we go outside or travel, we're very careful, and since then haven't left the country because the Indian government has given us such a big threat.
The list came from India's National Investigation Agency, its counter-terror department. Kuwant is speaking for the first time on television. He's an activist who supports a Sikh homeland separate from India called Khalistan. As a result of the list, he constantly checks the CCTV that covers his house. and when he drives to work, he changes his vehicle and his route.
Since the hit list was released, I've been feeling insecure that something may happen in the future. If I'm assassinated, then it's the British government's total responsibility.
It feels safe here in suburbia, or at least it should, but it doesn't for Kuan, and that's because people who believe the same things as he does in different countries around the world have ended up dead. For Sikh activists, it looks like a roundup by the Indian government.
Critics say that the Indian government is conducting a global assassination campaign, a claim India denies. These 4 men were all mentioned in the same video as Kuant. Hardeep Singh Nijjar was gunned down in Vancouver in June last year by Indian agents, according to Canada. The United States foiled the assassination of Gurpatwant Singh Pannu around the same time. In the UK, another prominent activist, Avtar Singh Kanda, suddenly died. Police here have repeatedly said this was because of natural causes, but many in the activist community think the death was suspicious. And in Pakistan, Paramjit Singh Panjwar was also shot dead. All 4 incidents happened within weeks of each other. We asked the Indian High Commission for comment, but a spokesperson said it wouldn't be possible to supply a response before broadcast because of the various different government departments involved. India characterises Sikh activism as extremism and terrorism. And there is a violent, bloody history, with hundreds of deaths on both sides, including the assassination of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi by her Sikh bodyguards in 1984. Those tensions, those complexities are still alive, and they're even on display in this Gurdwara, a Sikh place of worship in Birmingham.
Sikhs are being targeted across the borders in different countries, and now governments are speaking up about it. So they're very concerned about that. They're concerned about the British government not speaking up about it.
When we're talking about martyrs here, on that wall are the people who assassinated Indira Gandhi, who's elected Prime Minister of India. The Indian government would say, well, that's sort of glorifying terrorism.
One man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. So these guys stood up when the Indian government was going around from village to village.
A Home Office spokesperson told Sky News that British Sikhs contribute immensely to the strength of UK society, that it continually assesses potential threats in the UK, and that they take the protection of individuals' rights, freedoms and safety in the UK very seriously. Those words don't feel like much protection here in the Midlands. So in the meantime, they've hired extra security themselves. Tom Cheshire, Sky News, Birmingham.
Quick look at the weather now.
Warm memories wherever you go. The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
It'll be mostly very mild into the weekend, but it'll be rather unsettled and quite grey for many today. Northern Scotland will be chilly again, but it'll be much milder elsewhere, although quite windy in the south. Northern Scotland can expect sunny spells for a time this afternoon, largely clouding over later. Most other places will be rather dull, with hill fog and outbreaks of rain or drizzle, with some brighter spells are possible northeast of higher ground.
The weather, sponsored by Qatar Airways.
You're watching Sky News. Still to come, UK inflation defies the forecasters, but what does it mean for interest rates? We'll get the thoughts of an economist next.
Hey, Charlie, you're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired. Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa will provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06 386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clemens, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Hey, Charlie, you're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired. God, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep. Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Prampram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prampram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour Show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour Show is your best source into the property industry.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business, the show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Hey, Charlie, you're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired. Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep. Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Prampram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Prum Prum Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR, S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Vedasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business. The show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Hey, Charlie, you're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired. God, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep. Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, info@welllamp@gmail.com. Well Lamp Shippers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
Hi there. Are you dreaming of owning your own house in Ghana? Then you will need a well-documented piece of land that is free from troubles. I highly recommend My Africa Property for any size of land that you will need. With My Africa Property, lands are available in Pram, Sopoli, Tohenia, Ogome, Dodova, Winneba, and many other locations at affordable prices. These locations are about an hour away from the airport, only 35 minutes from the motorway, 10 minutes drive from Central University College, 10 minutes drive to the beach, and close to Pram Senior High School and Ghana Men's Soccer Center of Excellence. For more details, visit our website www.myafricaproperty.com or call our UK office on 0208 123 2523. For our US and Canada offices, call us on +1 585 184 994145. You can also email us at ghana@myafricaproperty.com.
Getting onto the property ladder has never been easy until now. Join us this and every Thursday from 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. live on the Property Hour show on Starr Radio UK, where we talk to mortgage brokers, property developers, estate agents, landlord, tenant, property consultants on how to invest or get into the property business and make money. You can't afford to miss this. The Property Hour show is your best source into the property industry.
Tune in to On Point here on Starr Radio UK with Empress Regina every Monday at 5 p.m. GMT. Looking forward to your company.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission-free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Medasse.
Hi everyone, it's your girl BB Clement, the author of How to Go From Employee to Entrepreneur and the host of your weekly business show, BB Means Business. The show where we discuss everything you ever wanted to know about business but you were afraid to ask. How do I start my business? How do I raise the finance? How do I grow my business? Where am I going to find my customers? Join me every Tuesday at 1:30 p.m. on Starr Radio UK to get all the information and tips that you need to become a successful entrepreneur and become financially free. Remember, don't let life dictate to you. Rather, put your signature on life.
Hey, Charlie, you're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired. Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa, they provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233 244 941 002 or 00233 2006 06386, and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep. Are you looking for the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy door-to-door shipment company? Well, look no further. When was the last time your family received a shipment back in Ghana on time and in time? You are not sure? Well, Lamb Shippers, we pride ourselves with being the fastest, reliable, and trustworthy shippers you can use. You are assured of a prompt pickup anywhere in the UK by our personnel. They also make sure your items are well packaged to get to its destination in time. When it comes to door-to-door shipment, look no further. Well, Lamb Shippers, contact us on 07939009321 or 07498911820. Or you can visit our website www.welllamp.co.uk. You can also drop us a mail, at welllamb@gmail.com. Well Lamb Shapers, fast, reliable, and trustworthy.
The best radio show. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
All around the world. In your car.
At work.
At home.
On your smartphone.
This is Starr Radio UK. Are you ready to turn it up?
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Birds flying high, you know how I feel. Sun in the sky, you know how I feel. Breeze drifting on by, you know how I feel. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new life for me. And I'm feeling good. Hey there, this is Archie, and it is Starr Radio UK and the morning show.
This is Starr Radio UK. Starr Radio UK. This is Starr Radio UK.
Welcome. Broadcasting worldwide, online 24/7.
Enlighten your day with Starr Radio. Starr Radio. Radio for the people, by the people.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Today is the 14th day of what? February, and that makes it what? Valentine's Day. And let me say a massive good morning and a happy Valentine's Day to every one of you who is in the mood of celebrating. If you're not in the mood of celebrating as well, or whatever it is, I still want to salute you and welcome you all to the Starr Radio UK Wednesday edition of the morning show. I remain yours sincerely, the one and only.
This is the morning show with Archie.
And yes, from now to exactly 12 o'clock, where I'm bringing you the program. I'll make sure I bring you everything that you need to know, from archaeology to zoology, from Accra to Zanzibar. As I do say, if it's making the headlines, why not? I'm going to be touching on it wherever it might be. So once again, welcome to the program. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones, and invite them to like our pages as well. And also, those of you who have not subscribed to our website or our YouTube channel, do subscribe to it. So that every time we are on, you will not miss a thing there. But wherever you are, I want to welcome you all. To the Starr Radio UK morning show. Welcome on board. Welcome on board. Okay. Let me say good morning to my able producer, Mr. Francis Guy, and to Bishop Adeshina. My Bishop, massive good morning to you. Anthony Adedaji, massive good morning. Aziz, good morning. Olakunle, good morning. So let me call you my able, my colleague and co-presenter, wherever you are, massive good morning to you. And also a special one goes to the one and only Felix, all the way in Aberdeen. Kojodi, massive good morning to you as well, wherever you are listening to us from.
I salute each and every one of you. Okay. Now, from now to 12 o'clock, okay, this is how the program is going to go. I'm going to bring you the quotes for the day. The weather forecast will follow suit as well. And then we will go on to have a look at your travels as well this morning on our way. There were a few traffic here and there. However, we'll be telling you about that as well. And then we'll move on from there to have a look at the details of some of the stories making the rounds across the globe, known as global trotting, and all that pertains. At 11:30, the lines will be open for you to add your voice to the discussions. And then, exactly more at 12 o'clock, the curtains will be brought down for the end of the program. So wherever you are, don't even think of touching the dial. This is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. And it is your morning show. Stay tuned and don't touch the dial. Okay, so the quote for the day, for the 14th day of February, Valentine's Day, says what? Every excellent organization will spend a great deal of time to make you successful if your values match theirs. If your values match theirs. So that's your value match that of the people that you are working with at the moment. If not, somebody will say, but what do you think about that? That is quite an interesting one, isn't it? Coming your way from Starr Radio UK. To every one of you listening in, Rachel, good morning to you as well, and thank you very much for you being there all the time when we come on the show as well. But once again, welcome to the Wednesday edition of the morning show. As I did say earlier on, I remain yours sincerely, the one and only Archie. Okay. Well, at 10:58, let's crack on. Let's move on to some of the other, my apologies, to the weather front as well. What has the weather got in store for you if today you are planning to go out for your celebrations, wherever it might be? Well, let me tell you, for the weather front or on the weather front, this is what's going to be for you. Yes, the temperature is going to be 14 degrees, a bit milder, and the lowest 12 degrees. And then the cold, my apologies, UV level is going to be low, pollution is going to be low as well. We'll be seeing the forecast breezy and wet with showery spells of rain moving in from the southwest. Now, these heavy and potentially thundery, the rain will clear off later on. Breezy and very mild. Tonight will start dry with a few clear spells possible. More spells of rain will soon develop from the southwest, but will clear away in the early hours. Another breezy and mild night expected as well. Listeners, Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let me take you straight to the travels as well. On the travel this morning, on the underground, the Central Line has got minor delays. Hammersmith and City Lines minor delays. Piccadilly has got park closure and minor delays, so check before you leave. The other side, all the others are running a good service. London Tramlink has got park closure. DLR and London Overground are running a good service there. Now let me take you straight to the major roads in London. On the major roads in London, Blackwater Tunnel has got serious delays, and if you can avoid it, do your best to do so. And Central London Red Route, serious delays there as well. On the other side, all the others, no exceptional delays. The River Bus is running a good service there as well. And then the London Cable Car is also running a good service. Starr Radio UK. Now, the final segment of the travel update, that is the National Rail. On the National Rail this morning, cross country has got severe delays. First Transparent Express, severe delays. London North Eastern Railway, severe delays. Lumo, severe delays. And Great Western Railway, minor delays. Northern Rail, minor delays. ScotRail and Transport for Wales have all got minor delays. The other side, all the others are running a good service. And that's why I'll say it once again. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good dawn to you, wherever you might be on planet Earth. Enjoy your commute for today. But you know what? Continue to keep those eyes where? On the road.
Hi guys, this is your friend Uruj from SendWave. SendWave is a money transfer app that is used by people all over the world to send money to their loved ones in Africa. With SendWave, you can send money to Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, And the best part is, SendWave is absolutely commission free. Our exchange rates are excellent. You can see for yourself by checking them out on our website. So how do you use SendWave? SendWave is an app that you can download onto your phone from the App Store or Google Play Store. The app is free to download. After downloading it, just open the app and enter your name, email, and phone number. That's it. You're good to go. Make sure you use the promo code SR. S for Star, R for Radio. This promo code will give you £5 free credit to send to Africa on your first transaction. Your money will be delivered to your recipient within seconds. Feel free to call me on 0749 7377 647 at any time. I'll be happy to tell you all about SendWave and help you in any way I can. Remember to use the promo code SR for £5 free credit. Vedasse.
Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Everywhere you go, Afrobeat reggae dancehall taking over. Yo, what's up, people? This is a boy Raskin Bobo One. Tune in every day, every night at the Star Radio UK with the big man them Archie. When I say Orta, you say fire.
Welcome back to the program, Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. I bring you the time now to 2 minutes past the top of the hour. As it is a Wednesday edition of the morning show, you know, we finish exactly at tick-tack at 12 o'clock. So we are pressed with time. So let's crack on. Let me say happy Valentine's Day to Sister BB, who sent me a lovely Valentine's message there. Oh, Sister BB, you looking good. Well, she brings you BB Means Business every Tuesday from Exactement. What? 1:30. There's a repeat broadcast on Thursdays at 6 p.m. So wherever it is, don't you go away. And God willing, tomorrow, Thursday, KB Bossman will be coming your way with the first edition, the maiden edition for the year 2024, the Robert Hour show that comes your way every Thursday from 7 p.m. So he'll be here to bring you that program. So wherever it is or wherever you are, don't even think of catching that. Let's move on. Some stories making the rounds this morning and this global protein. Now, starting from Nigeria, where we normally will, black market dollar to naira exchange rate on Valentine's Day, 14th of February. I'm going to be telling you about that. The federal government to labor will resume payment of 35,000 wages awards to workers. Well, and hardship, Nigerian government lambasts PDP governors for comparing country to Venezuela. And in the Mefele documents used to pay international election observers 6.2 million was forged. Ex-SGF Mustafa is saying, Sonolu, we are dedicated to enhancing welfare prosperity of citizens. That's what the story says. And Nigeria's crude oil production dropped in January. That's what OPEC is saying. Why? The UK signs enhanced trade investment partnership with Nigeria, a good one there. And Oyetola received Port Community System Implementation Report. So more going to be coming your way from there. And CAC asks content creators to register names and businesses. Okay, now moving on straight to some other stories making the rounds. Dozens dead as two boats collide on the Congo River. Deadly boating accidents occur frequently as informal operators on the Congo River often overload the vessels with passengers and goods. That's the only means that you can cross from one point to the other. And you talk about it, they say, well, if you don't want to go, get off. I mean, we've been doing this all this while. Then the next moment, boom, what this happens. So who is the regulator? How are they saying to police this? Well, so coming away from Star Radio UK. Nigeria Access Bank appoints Bola G. Agbede after death of the CEO. And then UN urges security forces in Senegal to respect and ensure human rights. Well, in other stories, Senegalese security forces kill at least 3 people. That's what the Amnesty International is saying. Nigeria's president postpones visit to Senegal. So there's a lot more going to go ahead of that. Ahead of planned march over vote delay, Senegal suspends Senegal has suspended communication. Ministry of Communication has suspended internet access or halt internet access. That was yesterday. Now we'll be telling you more about what is going on there. Now, the move by the president, Macky Sall, has he actually played into the hands of the opposition, or what do you think? Well, a very peaceful country ending up in such an uproar or in flames is quite a sad one. In Ghana, History Festival 2024, Black History Festival 2024 to unite global African diaspora in Columbus, Ohio. An acute water shortage declares state of emergency in Tamale. That's what Tamale South MP is saying. Christians bear majority blame for corruption in Ghana. That's what Yamin is saying. Why is he saying so? And Kennedy Japan is around in the chamber in a brawl with near brawl with Botiano English Amanfro MP Sylvester Tete. Well, I bet he's telling him, I'm richer than you. Who the hell are you? What are you doing here? Well, you know, I'm able to quote what he will be saying. Well, Akufo-Addo has sacked Oforiatta and reshuffles his government. I'll be telling you more about the Akufo-Addo's Valentine's Day reshuffle. 10 cabinet, 2 regional, 7 deputy ministers, and I'm going to give you all the details of that. May the Lord have mercy on your souls. Reverend Kwanchi Ankara replies, okay, I think some people who have tried to put some images of a sort there will try our best to see whether we're able to capture that as well. In other stories making the rounds in other parts of the world as well. Now, cream crackers and cake drive food prices to fall in the UK. NHS home care gaps leave families feeling stranded, and Labour suspends second parliamentary candidate. Doesn't mean that Labour is doing, Keir Starmer is doing his best to actually quell or stamp on anti-Semitism in the Labour Party. Does that mean that, well, if Israel, like the war that is going on in Gaza and with the way some of the events have been, does that mean that, well, you cannot actually criticize or critique what Israel is doing at the moment? And at what length does someone have to go for you to say whatever statement that they've made is anti-Semitic? Well, you want to know more, let us know, especially when you know more about what you think is right and what is wrong there. Now, U.S. has votes to impeach Homeland Security Chief. The impeachment push over border policies now moves to the Senate, where it's unlikely to succeed. And Ukraine claims sinking of Russian ship off Crimea. The landing ship Caesar Konikov is hit in the Black Sea, according to Ukraine's armed forces. Now, Biden slams Trump's criticism of NATO as shameful. But his supporters will be voting for him. And unofficial Indonesia results put strongman Prabowo in lead. That's some of the stories. And wanted U.S. fugitive recaptured after escape in Kenya. He killed the wife and fled to Kenya, but he's now been recaptured. He was in the police station, and well, he was saying that he needed to talk to his lawyer. And while they were there, he just slipped up, and that was him. Now, Amazon founder Bezos has sold shares worth over $4 billion, making him very, very rich, isn't it? Now, Democrats win race to replace George Santos. Okay, so lots more going to be coming your way from there. It is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK. North Korea hacks emails of South Korea's president aide. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well. Lots more going to be coming your way from there. Don't you go away. Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. So let's now go on, have a musical break, and then we come back and I bring you my own spin on the story that is making the rounds this morning, all details of it. All right.
Yeah. It's like my favorite song on this album, y'all. It's no secret in our world. People like to talk the things they know and the ones they don't. They will spread lies and rumors just to be known. So why are you wasting your time like this? Hearing those things that break your heart. Give no attention, give no thoughts. Cause people talk, but they'll never help you walk. So whenever they speak, look up and you will see a broken pencil and a sheet. And tell them I'm writing names of properties. Yeah.
All of this noise you're making on me. Teacher will get you when he comes. I have a race.
No time to waste.
No time to waste.
I'm writing names of talkers.
I'm writing names of talkers.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
all of
9.
this noise you're making on me.
Teacher, get them when he comes.
Teacher will get you when he comes. I have a race.
No time to waste.
No time to waste.
There are many voices in this life, and to be honest, many are not nice. So don't hear something and pick a knife, cause most of these things are nothing but lies. Teacher said be careful how you hear, cause there are talkatives here. They're everywhere. So silence the voices in your head and give no attention to your fears. I'm writing
names of talkatives. All of this noise you're making on me. Teacher will get you when he comes.
As for me,
I have a race.
No time to waste.
No time to waste.
I'm writing names of talkers.
I'm writing names of talkers.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
This is Starr Radio UK.
Starr Radio. Radio for the people, by the people.
I have a race. No time to waste.
Can we talk?
Yeah.
Can we talk? Call them, say
talkatives.
Do you know any?
Talkatives.
Yeah. Have you met any?
Talkatives.
Can we write some?
Talkatives.
List some names of
talkatives.
I am going now.
Talkatives.
Yeah. Some friends are.
Talkatives.
Some family members.
Talkatives.
Some landlords are.
Talkatives.
I said, this is Starr Radio, Starr Radio UK.
Talkatives.
Have you known any?
Talkatives.
Move away far from.
Talkatives.
Opinions are.
Talkatives.
Bloggers.
Talkatives.
Social media.
Talkatives.
Old friends.
Talkatives.
Some doctors report are.
Talkatives.
Some symptoms are.
Talkatives.
Move away from. Fast.
Talkatives.
Well, this is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, writing names of talkatives. By Kofi Boham. So if there happen to be somebody trying to chastise you, telling you that you're not beautiful, you're not that, don't look at them, don't listen to them. You are special in your own way. And I hope that by saying this, you feel loved. After all, today is Valentine's Day. And I say, from Star Radio UK, we love you all to bits. We love you all to bits, our wonderful, wonderful listeners. This morning, I've received lots of wonderful, beautiful Valentine messages from various presenters on the platform and some of our listeners as well. And some friends and loved ones. And I salute each and every one of you this morning for that. But now, let's move on straight to some of the other stories making the round this morning. As I said, we press with time. Let's move on. Okay. Now, Tinubu's government to place CBN officials, two others, on Interpol red notice for forging Buhari's signature to withdraw $6.2 million. The special investigator for the Central Bank of Nigeria, Jim Obazi, has requested an official of the Apex Bank and two others on the run be placed under Interpol red notice for allegedly forging the signatures of former President Muhammadu Buhari to fraudulently withdraw $6.2 million from the nation's treasury. The People's Gazette gathered that the request became imperative after the suspects failed to turn themselves in for questioning over the looted funds, leading investigators to believe that they had fled the country to escape prosecution. Now, 4 months before Mr. Buhari's administration ended in 2023, a sum of $6.2 million was withdrawn from the government coffers through a letter purportedly from the presidency bearing Mr. Buhari's signature and addressed to the CBN for payment of foreign election observers. Although Eric Okeme, Adamu Abubakar, Imam Abubakar were fingered as the three key suspects who carried out the forgery and fraudulent withdrawal. Their names have been submitted to the Interpol red notice, which will help the foreign police locate and arrest them. In any of Interpol's 196 member nations, including UK, US, France, Australia, Finland, St. Kitts, and Nevis, Russia, Malta, and others. In the course of the special investigation assignment, Mr. Odo Eric Ochemi, employee of the CBN, now at large, and other two accomplices, also known at now at large, were discovered to have conspired and forged documents in the name of the President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, with which they stole about $6.2 million in cash from the coffers of the CBN. The special investigator wrote in the letter applying for the red notice. Mr. Obazi, appointed by President Bola Tinubu in 2023, supplied the passport details of Mr. Ochemi and led the lead suspect to the police to help the government apprehend him quickly. The data page of Odo Eric Ochemi, Nigeria's passport number B500-8200-800, duly certified true copies of the warrant and the order of the court to that effect are hereby attached, the letter indicated. Boss Mustafa, former secretary to the government of the Federation, testified in court on Tuesday that neither he nor the President Muhammadu Buhari approved the $6.2 million payment for international election observers. Oh boy. And the issue is they cashed $6.230 million cash. Ah. Well. Former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, on Tuesday, while appearing before the Federal Capital Territory High Court in Abuja, testified in the ongoing trial of ex-governor of the Central Bank, Godwin Emefiele, revealed that the documents used in paying international election observers the sum of $6.2 million was forged. Appearing as prosecution witness 2 on Tuesday, 13th of February 2024, Mustafa said he knew nothing about the transaction up till the time he left office at the end of May 2023, adding that having served for 5 years and 7 months, the documents in contention did not emanate from the office of the then President Muhammadu Buhari. The former SGF boss, Mustafa, stated that all the time he served in government, he never heard the term special appropriation provision. Boss Mustafa noted that the two terms known to him are appropriation and supplementary. Now, Mustafa also said that in all the correspondences he ever received from former President Buhari, he never concluded with "please accept with my highest regard," saying the signature was a failed attempt at reproducing Buhari's signature. According to Mustafa, the federal government has no business with the payment of foreign election observers. To him, the Federal Executive Council decisions are not transmitted by letters. Recall that on Monday, a deputy director with the Central Bank of Nigeria, Michael Onyeka Ogbo, narrated before Justice Hamza Mazu of the High Court of the Federal Capital Territory, sitting at Maitama, Abuja, how the bank released $6.230 million for the payment of some international election observers before the 2023 general election. Ogbo, currently the head of the Service Delivery Division of the CBN, told the court while giving his evidence in chief that the sum of $6.230 was released by the bank because the request document showed evidence of approval by the then President Muhammadu Buhari and Emefiele. Emefiele is being prosecuted in their case, marked CR 577-2023, on an amended 20-count charge bordering on conferment of corruption, advantage, forgery, criminal breaches of trust, conspiracy to obtain by false pretense, and obtaining money by false pretense. Emefiele is accused of allegedly forging a document titled Presidential Directive on Foreign Election Observer Mission, dated 26th of January 2023, with reference number SGF 43/L.01/201, purported same to have emanated from the office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation to the Governor of the CBN. Well, quite an interesting one. Was he involved in it, or as the signature of the president was also forged, he also fell victim to the same crooks? Or was he in there who tried to get them to now forge that of the president? And therefore, what do you think? It's all Starr Radio UK. In other stories making the rounds in Nigeria, a couple of them before we move on straight from there as well. When it comes to the Naira to dollar exchange rate, as Nigerians celebrate Valentine's Day, the black market exchange rate between the US dollar and the Naira has taken center stage, marking a significant impact on financial transactions today. That's the 14th day of February 2024. Reports indicate that the buying rate for a dollar at the Lagos parallel market, commonly known as the black market or Abochi Forex, is pegged at 1,538 naira, while the selling rate stands at 1,545. Now, this reveals a slight increase compared to the rates observed on Tuesday, 13th of January, where players in the parallel market reportedly bought $1 for 1,480 and sold it at 1,490. The continuous fluctuation in these rates underscores the dynamic nature of the foreign exchange market. So, coming away from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. One other story and then we'll move on from Nigeria. The Nigerian government has lambasted governors of the People's Democratic Party for comparing the current hardship Nigerians are going through amidst economic challenges to what Venezuela had gone through. The PDP governors, during a press conference in Abuja on Monday, compared the situation in Nigeria to Venezuela. In a statement by the chairman, governor of Bauchi State, Bala Muhammad, the governors had said the cost of living is skyrocketing and we are almost on the road to becoming like Venezuela. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, who made the government's position known in a press statement on Tuesday in Abuja, said PDP governors were playing to the gallery and owe Nigerians an account of increased allocation to their states by the President Bola Tinubu-led administration. We welcome their call for a bipartisan approach to solving our nation's economic and security problems, Idris said. As critical stakeholders and leaders at the sub-national level, the PDP governors certainly have the right to state their position on national concerns as is expected. However, as leaders in the country who are members of the two important constitutional organs of government, the National Economic Council, which is the highest economic management organ of the country, the National Council of State, we believe the PDP governors did not conduct themselves in a manner befitting their roles as leaders. It went on further to say, it is far-fetched when PDP governors, who are supposed to be major players in driving economic growth and prosperity for our citizens in their respective states, mischievously and falsely compare our current economic challenges to that of Venezuela. Okay? They are critiquing you, saying that your measures and whatever you've taken in place and how the path that the country is charting is like that of Venezuela. What do you think? And what can you do to stop that from actually becoming a reality? That is what we want to hear. As for talking, everybody can do the talking. But when it comes to the doing, that is a different ball game. All right then, so they are criticizing you. What can you do? As a government, what will you do to alleviate the pain that Nigerians are going through? Listeners, this is Starr Radio UK, and it is the Wednesday edition of the morning show. Now let's move on straight to some other stories making the rounds on the African continent as well. As protests continue in Senegal against President Macky Sall's decision to delay the country's election to December, there is increasing concerns over the behavior of security forces. There were deadly clashes between demonstrators and police last week after Starr said the 25th February polls were being moved to the end of the year. His announcement plunged Senegal into a crisis and has intensified a backlash against what many sees as an attempt by the president to extend his mandate. The Office of the High Commissioner for Human Rights and human rights organizations have called on the authorities to ensure that they uphold the country's long-held tradition of democracy and respect for human rights. It is crucial that the authorities unequivocally order the security forces to respect and ensure human rights, including the rights to freedom of expression, association, and peaceful assembly, said the OHCHR spokesperson, Liz Russell. At least 3 young men were killed during the protests, and at least 266 people have reportedly been arrested across the country, including journalists, she said. Amid the rising tension and reports of planned further protests, the UN body also urged all actors from resulting to violence. The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, calls on the government to ensure that the proposed national dialogue be as broad-based as possible and ensure genuine participation of opposition groups, women, youth, and marginalized groups, he said. Now, Senegal has been seen as one of the more stable democracies in the West Africa region, which has witnessed a string of military coups in recent years. But what do we see now? What do we see now? Was a call by the president the right one? Was a call by the president the right one? That is a question on the lips of most people. Now, when it comes to Kinshasa, dozens of people are dead and several others are reported missing after two boats collided on the Congo River near Kinshasa in the Democratic Republic of Congo on Monday. In dramatic images taken moments after they crashed into one another, horrified residents can be seen watching from the river banks as small boats raced out in a bid to rescue passengers. It was not immediately clear how many were saved or what caused the accident between the two boats, which were loaded with people and goods. Rivers are key to transport in the vast Central African country, which has a very poor road infrastructure. Deadly boating accidents occur frequently as crews often overload the vessels. And most river traffic is run by small informal operators, and officials have warned that the adherence to maritime regulators is poor. And it's a very, 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 very sad incident that has happened there. But welcome your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Okay, let's move on. Okay, authorities in Senegal have restricted internet access and a ban on matches that is taking place there. So those are some of the stories making the rounds there as well. Listeners, this is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Let's move on to other stories making the round. The national organizer of the opposition National Democratic Congress, Reverend Dr. Joseph Yamin, has stated that Christians should bear majority blame for the high rate of corruption in the country. According to the politician, cum theologian, there are many churches but fewer Christians in the country. If today in Ghana 70% of our population are Christians and Christianity talks about morality, why the corruption? He queried. His concerns come at a time the Ghana Integrity Initiative, the local chapter of Transparency International, has expressed concern with Ghana's stagnation in its anti-corruption rankings on the Corruption Perception Index, the SPI, released in January 2024. For the first consecutive time, Ghana scored 43 out of a clean score of 100 and ranked 70th out of the 180 countries and territories assessed. In an interview with one radio station, he argued, if there is so much corruption in our system, it's Christianity that should be blamed. Lashing out at the religion with the majority of worshippers, he contended, if 70% of our population are Christians, knowing the right thing they're supposed to do, they're doing it, this country will never be in the mess. He further inferred that the church in Ghana was drowned in euphoria of performing miracles instead of preaching the gospel of salvation and morality. The 70% Christians are not doing what is in the Bible. It is because people go to churches to receive miracles but not to be saved. Ghana is moving, so there are more churches but fewer Christians, he stressed. Now, do you agree with him? And of course, if 70% of the population are ascribed to Christianity, then they are forming the majority of the people in the country. So why are they not doing the right so that they will stand? They will stand out and be counted. Well, it's quite an interesting one there. Very, very interesting. So, what will he also do in his quest as a leader, as a political person, as a national organizer, and also a theologian? Well, is it Starr already okay? Is it just a theologian or he is a pastor? Okay. Now, we were speculating, or there were speculations that the president was going to reshuffle his cabinet. President Nadu Dankwa imminent reshuffle has hogged headlines since late last week, through the weekend into this week. Now, pro-government outlets, including some radio station and Daily Guide newspaper, have confirmed that the said shakeup will be effected today. It is said that the reshuffle will affect ministerial and deputy ministerial portfolios as well as 3 regional ministers. The announcement of the changes to the lineup of ministers, the Jubilee House, from the Jubilee House today on the 14th of February, Valentine's Day, a nice gift for them. This afternoon witnessed several movements to the 4th floor of Jubilee House by ministers expected to be affected and other MPs expected to benefit from the ministerial changes, the report had added. According to the sources, it is believed that 12 current substantive ministers of state may be affected, including 10 cabinet ministers and 2 regional ministers, plus some deputy ministers. It also anticipated that about 7 deputy ministers will lose out. The biggest beneficiaries are expected to be backbenchers from the majority side of the House, several of whom will fill the vacant slot, and the report added. Akufo-Addo, who is scheduled to fly out to Germany on an official visit, will transmit the nomination to the Speaker of Parliament late today, multiple reports have stated. So, we'll be watching very, very closely. God willing, tomorrow I'll be able to come your way to tell you exactly who is in and who is out. Well, some of the notable names the president sacked. Okay, so yes, in all, the president relieved 30 ministers and 10 deputy ministers of their duties, some of which he reassigned. Some of the notable names the president sacked include the Minister for Finance, Ken Ofori-Atta, and the Minister for Roads and Highways, Kwesi Amoako-Atta. The other ministers who have been sacked are the Minister for Health, Kweku Agyeman-Manu, the Minister for Local Government Decentralization and Rural Development, Dan Kweku Bochwe, and the Minister for Environment, Science, Technology and Innovation, Dr. Kweku Afriye. Now, here are the new appointees. Daniel Kwate Titus Glover has been named Greater Accra Regional Minister. The current occupant of the role, Henry Kwate, is heading to the Interior Ministry. Interior Minister Ambrose Derry has been reassigned to the office of the President to serve as Minister of State. Dr. Bernard Okoboy will head to the Ministry of Health, and Lydia Al-Hassan, the Member of Parliament for Ayawaso West Wogon, is heading to the Sanitation and Water Resources Ministry to replace Frida Prempe. Now, Andrew Ejapa Mesa, currently the Deputy Minister of Energy and MP for Sekondi, will now serve as the Minister of Tourism. He replaces Dr. Mohammed Awal. Ophelia Hayford Mesa, MP for the Mfantsiman, is headed to the Ministry of Environment, Science and Technology, Innovation, and replacing Dr. Kweku Afriye. Mrs. Fatimatu Abubakar remain at the Information Ministry, but as the substantive. Her former boss, Kojo Oponkroma, moves to work and housing. Now, Francis Asensu-Boakye leaves the Works and Housing Ministry to take over from Kwesi Amoakwata as Roads and Highways Minister. Deputy Local Government Minister Martin Ejay Mensah Kosa will also remain the Local Government Ministry, but will be taking over from his boss Dan Kweku Botwe. Now, Dakwa Newman, MP for Kankwe South, is heading to the Gender Ministry, replacing the defeated Wale Wale MP Zuwera Lareba, and Abdul Aziz Musa Ayaba, MP for Mion, and Prince Hamid Amma, MP for Wesimentum, and Dr. Nana Ayu Afriye, MP for Fijoase Asukore, among other MPs, have been named as deputy ministers. That is quite an interesting one, isn't it? Well, the cabinet reshuffle by the president of Ghana. So that is for your information. Now let's move on to other parts of the world to look at some of the stories making the rounds there. Starting from the US, the House of Representatives has narrowly voted to impeach Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, making him the first cabinet member to face impeachment in nearly 150 years. Many Republicans blame Mr. Mayorkas for an unprecedented influx of migrants at the U.S.-Mexico border. The Republican-led chamber voted 214 to 213 for the measure after their first attempt failed last week. The issue now leads to the Democratic-led Senate, where it is likely to fail. President Joe Biden on Tuesday called the vote a blatant act of unconstitutional partisanship and a political stunt. Opponents of Mr. Mayorkas accuse him of not living up to his oath to well and faithfully discharge the duties of his office by failing to do more to secure the border. The vote was largely divided along party lines, with 210 Democrats voting against the impeachment, along with 3 Republicans representatives, Tom McClintock of California, Ken Buck of Colorado, and Mike Gallagher of Wisconsin. The 3 defectors also voted against the first attempt to impeach Mr. Mayorkas, saying that impeaching someone who had not committed a serious crime would weaken the constitutional penalty and do little to address the crisis at the border. Now, more than 6.3 million migrants have entered the U.S. illegally since 2021, making immigration a divisive and politically contentious issue ahead of the November election. Let me say good morning to Nakwale. Happy Valentine's Day as well. Then thank you very much for joining us on Star Radio UK. Still in the US, President Joe Biden has blasted criticism of NATO by his likely 2024 election challenger Donald Trump as dumb, shameful, and un-American. The Democrats assailed Mr. Trump for saying he would encourage Russia to attack any NATO member that did not meet its defense spending quota. Mr. Biden said the remarks underscored the urgency of passing a 95 billion naira, dollars foreign aid package for U.S. allies. The bill just passed the Senate, but it faces political headwinds in the House. At the White House on Tuesday, Mr. Biden said a failure to pass the package, which includes $60 billion for Ukraine, will be playing into Putin's hands. He said the stakes have risen because Mr. Trump dangerous remarks over the weekend. No other president in history has ever bowed down to a Russian dictator, Mr. Biden says. Now let me say this as clearly as I can. I never will, for God's sake. It's dumb, it's shameful, it's dangerous, it's un-American. At a rally on Saturday in South Carolina, Mr. Trump, a Republican, criticized delinquent payments by NATO members. But this is the man who has said, even if he takes a gun in the other election campaign and shoot people, he will still be voted for. So, this one in the in the cup for him. He recounted a past conversation he said he had with the head of a big country about a potential attack by Russia. Mr. Trump said the official had asked if the U.S. would defend a NATO member that had not met its financial obligation. And in the quote he said, "I said, you didn't pay, you are delinquent," Mr. Trump told the crowd. No, let me take it again. No, I will not protect you. In fact, I will encourage them to do whatever they want. You gotta pay. Now, Mr. Biden said his predecessor was strengthening the military alliance like a protection racket. As long as I am president, he said, if Putin attacks a NATO ally, the United States will defend every inch of that NATO territory. So the question now comes to, if Trump, or should Trump win the election, the November election, and becomes the president of the United States of America, how is that going to pan out for NATO? Now, the other small countries, the Eastern European countries, so Polish and all the others who are part of NATO now, what would their stance be? If they are attacked, those who have not been able to contribute their quota, what will happen to them? Will Russia then now just walk in and just take them and put them in his pockets? Well, you want to know more? Don't touch the dial. It is Starr Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Well, the war in Ukraine goes on. A big Russian amphibious ship, the Caesar Konikov, has sunk off the coast of Russian-occupied Crimea, according to Ukraine's armed forces. Powerful explosions were heard early on Wednesday morning, according to local social media, which suggested the landing ship had been hit not far south of the town of Yalta. Ukraine has repeatedly hit Russia's Black Sea Fleet in occupied Crimea. Satellite images last year showed much of the fleet had left the peninsula. Ukraine's main Directorate of Intelligence published a video of what it said were Magura V5 naval drones striking the landing ship. Now, Russia's full-scale war in Ukraine is due to enter its third year next week, and Ukraine's armed forces chief has admitted the situation is extremely complex. Colonel General Alexander Syrsky, who was appointed commander-in-chief last week, visited the front line on Wednesday, hours after a Russian missile attack claimed 3 lives in the eastern town of Selidov. There was no confirmation from Russia's navies that the Caesar Konikov had been sunk in the Black Sea, merely that 6 Ukrainian drones had been destroyed. Video appearing to show the aftermath of the Ukrainian attack was uploaded until recently. The Caesar Konikov suffered critical holes in its port side and began to sink, Ukraine's intelligence directorate said on the Telegram messaging site, adding that it had been destroyed in Ukrainian territorial waters by a unit called Group 13. Amphibious ships are used to move assault troops to land quickly, especially in the enemy territory. Russia has also used landing ships in recent years to ferry military supplies to Syria in support of Bashar al-Assad's government. Well, listen, this is all coming away from Starr Radio UK. We've got about another 10 minutes to bring the program to a close. As I did say, it is a Wednesday edition of the morning show to finish at time. In the Pakistan election, Imran Khan's rivals, the PMLN and PPP, have reached deal to form a government. Nawaz Sharif and Bilawal Bhutto Zardari parties in Pakistan have reached a deal to form a government after last week's disputed election. Mr. Bhutto's Pakistan People's Party said it will help Mr. Sharif's Pakistan Muslim League elect a prime minister. The two parties were previously in a coalition that ousted Imran Khan from power in 2022. He is now in jail. This time, independent candidate backed by his Pakistan Tehreek Insaf unexpectedly won the most seats. PPP leader Asif Ali Zardari told a press conference that although his party and the PMLN had contested election against each other, they had come together in the interest of the nation. Interesting. It is not necessary that we fight we fight forever, Mr. Zardari said. The PMLN said in a statement that both parties had agreed to cooperate in the interest of political stability. The result in which independent backed by the PTI took 93 out of the 266 directly elected seats had left voters uncertain about what the parties will form, which parties will form the next government. The PMLN won 75 seats, while the PPP came third with 54 seats. In addition, parties will be allocated more seats from the 70 reserved for women and non-Muslims. These additional seats are not available to independent candidates. According to the PMLN official, Mariam Ariagazep party leader Mr. Sharif plans to nominate his brother Shabazz to be prime minister. Both men have previously served as prime ministers. Okay, so some of the stories making the rounds there for you. It is Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Here in the UK, the UK's inflation rate remained unchanged in January, despite the first monthly fall in food prices in more than 2 years. Official figures show inflation, which measures how prices rise over time, stood at 4% in the year to January. The new energy price cap meant the typical annual household bill went up to £1,928, a rise of £94. However, the price of other items like furniture, food fell, offsetting the increase in the cost of energy. According to the latest figure from the Office of the National Statistics, prices for food and non-alcoholic beverages fell on a monthly basis by 0.4%, marking first decrease since September 2021. Bread and cereal were part of the reason behind the fall, meaning things like cream crackers, sponge cakes, and chocolate biscuits were all cheaper. Now, crepes, cooking sauces, and instant coffee also cost easing too. The overall food prices are still relatively high. However, with sharp rises seen in the past 2 years, price spikes followed Russian invasion of Ukraine, which had a big impact on the energy prices and grain supplies. Bad weather in Europe and North Africa and labor shortages in the UK have all affected crop too. Well, this all coming away from Starr Radio UK. Let me try to bring you one other story, then we can bring the program to a close. Labour has suspended a second parliamentary candidate for anti-Semitism. Labour has suspended a second parliamentary candidate over comments he allegedly made about Israel. Graham Jones, the former Labour MP for Hindburn, is also facing an investigation. It comes after Labour withdrew support for the party's candidate for the Rockdale by-election, Azhar Ali, for apparently making anti-Semitic remarks. Mr. Jones had been contacted for comment. Now, Labour has had selected Mr. Jones to contest his former Lancashire seat in the forthcoming general election. Mr. Jones was suspended for comments he appears to have made about Israel, but Labour has yet to identify the specific remark. But on Tuesday, Widow Fox website published audio in which the former MP allegedly used an expletive to refer to Israel and argues that British people who fight in the Israel Defense Forces should be locked up. The ministers have confirmed that British nationals with dual nationalities can serve in legitimately recognized armed forces of the country of their other nationalities. At the same meeting, Mr. Ali alleged to have blamed people in the media from certain Jewish quarters for the suspension of Mr. MP and the McDonald of Labour. Well, so those are things that have gone on or is still going on. But this is all coming your way from Starr Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. One other story from other parts of the world. Hungary's resignation leaves Viktor Orban in biggest crisis yet. It has become the biggest threat to Prime Minister Viktor Orban's rule since he returned to power in 2010. Hungary has been shaken by the sudden resignation of two most popular, successful women in an otherwise strongly male-dominated governing party. President Katalin Novak and former Justice Minister Judith Varga are both taking responsibility for the decision to grant clemency to Enrique, former deputy director of a state orphanage. Enrique was jailed for persuading children to withdraw their testimony against the director of the orphanage for sexual abuse. He was one of the 25 people pardoned by the president during a visit by Pope Francis last year, but his name only became public on the 2nd of February. Now, the issue has become deeply problematic for a government which had made protection of children and traditional families value the cornerstone of its policy. Now, worst of all, Mr. Orban and his party departures of the two women have been followed by an avalanche of allegations about the way he runs the country. And this double resignation, coming and increasing protests, has deprived Viktor Orban of two very different but essential allies. Listeners, this is where I bring the program to a close for today. God willing, tomorrow, if you're still alive, well and kicking, we'll be in here to bring you the Thursday edition of the morning show. As I did say, that tomorrow, God will be having KB Botsman coming your way with the maiden broadcast or the maiden show for the year 2020 what? 4 of the property hour. So make sure you make a date with him. On that note, I say thank you very much for tuning in. It's been a pleasure coming your way. I am Archie. Have a lovely day and bye-bye for now.
Hey, Charlie, you're on your way to Ghana. Boy, oh boy, you stressed out, tired. Go, you're going to be resting. Okay, then let me recommend to you JN Mobile Spa in Accra, Ghana. Oh boy, JN Mobile Spa will provide organic care in massage. Are you stressed? Do you need rejuvenated, etc.? For your facials, maybe exfoliating, firming, and lifting? Then contact JN Spa on 00233244941 or 00233200606 and they will be right there on time. JN Mobile Spa, your health and beauty needs at your doorstep.
Okay, so thank you very, very much. As I said, I sign off with this song from a JB, a cover version of Kojo Entry's song, Made of Fupa. To every one of you celebrating the Valentine's Day, whatever you're doing, I wish you all the best, and I see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye. I am Archie.
Made of full power on that way. Made of full power on that way. Adore your way, man, I'm a friend for a while. My sorry, no pa, me who from you. Oda pomitiama menya meka sema bemwa asere tremio wama wasigumio menya Kuma padeno opo piani nitie semena mitofia minchiche nasio so fresh mapa miteni jene beko shanwe nama ena watu odoye uwa nasi namisha nani wama enuni mami arejitire mi huwa na mi huwa tamie awodoye mi jafu pa unyumne pwe mi jafu pa unyumne pwe oh mi jafu pa unyumne pwe I don't need